Hello friends, welcome back to the Amit Dhakad AI. In this video, we will learn about errors like exception handling. So we have two types of errors in Python. One is syntax error and other is runtime error. So what is the syntax error? Syntax error is like when we are not following the rules of the Python programming. So you can see here we have one function check underscore status, and after that I'm not using the columns, I'm just printing active, so it will throw the error. So if I copy this function, so you can see it's showing syntax error expected colon. So this is what is the syntax error. For this one the code will not run. Second, runtime error. We call this exception. So the code is correct syntax wise, but it will fail when we run this one. So we have this, like we are dividing 10 by 0. So we will get 0 division error. So syntax is correct because we can divide any number here, right? But the rule is breaking because number we cannot divide by 0. So we will get the 0 division error. Division by 0. To handle the runtime error, so we use the like try and catch. So the general error catch except exception. Okay. So we use except exception as a E. Like you can use anything, but generally we use E for that. Like this one, except exception as E. Okay. So when we use try and catch, so we run this function. So here you can see I'm using try. Okay. Try print calculation user input ABC number. We are converting user input to the integer. After that, we are dividing that by the 1 by the number. So inside except exception as E, we are printing message here. So type of exception we are printing, what type of exception we are getting, and message we are getting. Okay. So if I run this one, so you can see here first we are getting first print statement, this one, after that user input, and when it will come to the this syntax and user input. Okay. So what is the user input? User input is the string, so we cannot convert in the end. So it will go to the an exception was caught by the general handler. So what is, and this is called general handler, this one. So what is the type? Type of exception is class value error. Okay. And error message is invalid literal for end with base 10 ABC. Okay. So for string, we cannot convert into the integer. So this is how we handle the exceptions. We need to use track block and except to catch the exception. So if we are having any code that will think like we'll get the any exception while runtime, so you can put that code inside the try block, and after inside the except you can perform any other operation that you want to do, and this code will fail. So with the try and except we can use else block also. So this is optional component. Okay. So only if the code is try block completes without raising any exception. So that time the else block will execute. Okay. So here you can see I have process function. Okay. Process user data try. It is converting that input onto the flow. So it will check except, it will get exception, then it will go inside the except block, and if it is going inside except, then else will not execute. Okay. When we are running try and it will complete the try, then it will not go inside the except block, but it will go inside the else. So you can see we are calling process user data with 12.5 So here it will convert into the float. That time it will run this code and this code. Next we are passing the string corrupted data. So it will fail here, it will go inside, but it will not go here. So why we need to use else, like similar cases you can use when you are thinking that code is execute, try block code before after that this code should execute this else one. Otherwise if you run here, if it will fail then it will not execute. Okay, so it will go to the except block. So if I run this code, so you can see first time it doubled that value using this inside else block, search value and multiply by 2, and the other that this function call is returning the could not convert string to the float. So this is how we handle the try, accept, and else. Okay. First you need to use the try, that if you think that you will get any error inside that, and you need to handle that error inside the accept block, and else block, that code if you want to run after the try code will execute successfully. Okay, so when this get error, okay, so it will not execute the else block, it will stop. Okay, so this is on no, optional, this is not compulsory, like you can use try and accept only, you don't need to use else. If you want to use, you can use it, but try and accept you need to use. You cannot use try only without accept and accept without try. Okay, next we have finally block. Okay, so the finally block is absolute execution guarantee. What it means? It means when we are running any program, okay, so that will execute when you are getting error or you are not getting error. In both the cases, this code will execute without any failure. So what is that? I am running this here. Okay, so we have function write header. F we are assigning and we are going inside the and we are checking often file name with mode w. Okay, f dot write header text similar to sudden failure here, and x equals to 1 divided by 0. So we are doing exception as a e, and finally after that print finally running file cleanup action. So what we are doing inside here, we are checking if f is present, then close that file. Okay, what is that? F is the file that we are opening here. So we need to close that. So this code will work. Then if we go inside else, this will go execute. That time also it will run. That time also it will go to the final. And if this code will fail and it will go inside the accept. From accept it will go into the finally. So both the cases, like if it is going inside try or accept, the finally will execute all the times. And else only execute when the try code is completed. If it is going inside accept, then else block will not execute. Okay? This will not execute when this code is going in the accept. So we are calling here in this function. Here you can see error capture division by 0. So here we are opening files. So here it is dividing the by 0. So it will throw the error and it will go error captured and it will go inside the finally. Finally running the file cleanup and file string flow successfully. So it will accept it, still it is going in the finally. Okay. And if I comment this line of code and if I run, so you can see it will and the track block is executed. It is not going inside except because this will is correct. We don't have any error yet, like exception, and it is going inside the finally. See, so in the both the cases, the finally is executing. We are getting error and we are not getting error. Okay, in both the cases, this code will execute. So if you need like file close up or any other thing, file cleanup, any other thing, code or logic that you want to put, that should execute in the both the cases, you can put inside the finally block. So this is the finally complete code that we need to check. So here you can see we have try, accept, and here we are having try, accept, and else, and finally we are using for all once. Okay, so when it will go into the try, and if it will work, then it will go to the else. After that, it will go to the finally. So first it will go try, else, and finally. Okay, then we'll get error. That time it will go into the side accept and finally. Okay, so you can see finally is in the both the cases will exit. So if I run this code, so we have two cases here. Okay, one with the working code, one with failure. So we have one is success. So it will start the operation, try inside try. After try will execute, it will go inside the else. Okay, and after that it will go to the finally. And next we have failure case. We are starting in the try. After that it will go to the exception because the exception by 0 is coming. And after that it will go to the finally. So you can see we are passing 100 by 0 and 100 5. So we are dividing this by 5 years, so it will work. And here we are dividing 100 by 0, so it will fail. Okay. So this is the basics of exception handling, how you can handle exception and on runtime. So how we can use try, accept, else, and finally. Okay. So please like, subscribe, and share. If you have any question, you can ask in the comment section. Click on the bell notification icon for the more updates. Thank you.